Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the original Loretta Brown Show, radio to open the heart, heal the soul, and awaken the consciousness. Hello. Good morning, Mr. Benny Mathers.
Well, voila and hello.
Wow.
Are you,
every week I know you're going to come in with something, and I just am like, you just add that little spice right on the
well,
top of
thank you. I'm a spicy Benny. I try to freshen it up from day to day, from show to show. And the more times we do the show, I try to be a little more creative, and it is sometimes a little challenging. Although I was gonna come in with like, "Have yourself." Wait, not yet. See, I can't go yet because it's too soon. Too soon. Maybe in a couple of weeks I can bust it out.
I don't know. I have to tell you, I feel like people were like horses at a gate waiting for Thanksgiving. Like, is it over yet? Right?
I mean, I think we saw Christmas in September, like September 2nd, or like not even Labor Day hit yet. And it was already out in stores. Like, I understand the whole, okay, let me just real fast. I love the holidays, but not that soon.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I'm a traditional guy. I think we talked about this before. Like, we like traditional meals. That's what we grew up with. Sometimes, though, having the holidays that early just is a little too early for me, but it brings the spirit up in everyone and their attitude. So I'm in favor of that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm traditional too.
Yep.
And I'm like, I like to take the holidays one holiday at a time.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Like I want to fully savor whatever that holiday is before I jump into the next one. So anyway,
none of this mishmashed stuff, right?
Yeah, well, and we were talking before the show too. I'm going to bring this out. Like I was raised with the old-fashioned food, and I'm from Pendleton, Oregon, in case people wondered where the heck is that, right? But yeah, it was like butter, sugar, flour, baked goods, and
I believe you said mo better, mo sugar, and I said mo everything. Like, yeah, right. Bring it. Mo better.
Come on,
mo butter, mo sugar.
Yeah, mo better. Yeah. Mo better. So actually, somebody in my family used to call me Mo better. It's just Mo better.
You have a lot of nicknames.
Mo better with Loretta, right? Anyway.
I love it. Oh, I'm getting those t-shirts for everyone for Christmas next year. I don't know if I can get them printed fast enough, but I'll try.
I've really created a problem.
I love it.
I actually love it. Yeah, maybe it could be a movement. It's Mo better with Loretta. Anyway, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving and you're into December, and Christmas is going to be here before we know it. And before I jump too far into it, happy birthday to my beautiful, beautiful daughter, Jenny Brown. Aloha. And if you're in on the big island of Hawaii, please go out. She's a professional musician, and she'll play a bunch of really great music for you, and you'll have a good time. So,
does she play her own theme song? I mean, she should.
She should. She should have her own. Yeah, when she walks in the room, she should have music playing.
Well, or her own birthday song.
Her own birthday. Well, she does the birthday month, I think, is how that works.
She's one of them.
Yeah. It's my birthday, right? Like, come on out and party. And
enjoy it.
She plays the trombone, so she's Jenny One Bone, I guess is what she calls herself. But she is a professional musician, and I'm just putting out a big shout out because she's amazing. So anyway, I'll try to get into the show after all that, right? I am Loretta Brown. I am the owner of Reiki Oasis, located right here in the greater Seattle area. And you can find out more about me at ReikiOasis.com. And yes, I am scheduled that far out in advance. That is how that works. Good luck. If you need to get in to see me for one of the 80 million things I do, you can always send an email to ReikiOasis@gmail.com and try to get some help with that, or just go to the scheduler, schedule.ReikiOasis.com. Anyway, we are starting December. I feel like I have to clear my throat, Betty. I feel like I need the mover. I need Ganesha, the elephant that removes obstacles, to walk in the door. We've got 6 planets retrograde, 6 of them going backwards. That's how we're starting the month. Not only that, but we started the month with a black moon. And what in the world is a black moon? I've heard of once in a blue moon, Loretta, which is when we have 2 full moons in a month. But a black moon, once in a black moon, is when we have 2 new moons. And the month of December is interestingly bookend with the new moon in Sagittarius on December 1st, which encourages us to set big picture goals and dream boldly. And December 30th, we will have a Capricorn new moon, the second black moon, which is going to ground the energy. It's in Capricorn, and it's going to help us turn the dreams into actionable plans as we step into 2025. So this month, right now, the energy's kind of slowed down a little bit. We got Mercury and Mars retrograde, and Mercury is retrograde, the planet of communications. And as you all know, that can really interrupt our technology, our travel plans. Make sure that you really double check your plans if you're traveling, and communications can sometimes go awry. So just be a little bit patient. Mars retrograde begins this week, and it will continue into February. Mars retrograde adds a layer of introspection to how we use our energy. This is not a time to push forward aggressively. Remember, Mars is the planet of war and fire and anger, right? So it can also be inspiration or power or the energy to move forward, but it is going backwards. So reassess your priorities. Let your heart guide your decisions. Between December 2nd and 4th of this week, the sun aligned with Antares, a powerful star associated with the heart of the Scorpion. And this energy is inviting deep reflection. It's encouraging us to forgive, heal, and open our hearts. And during this time, Mercury retrograde is also aligning with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, magnifying intuitive insights while exposing areas of miscommunication. I've had a lot of people coming in who have been kind of going back in their minds, reviewing all of this stuff. There's a lot of people that have regrets, or they're just remembering things from a long time ago. This is really how this retrograde energy works. It sort of digs things up and brings them to the surface so that we can take a look at them. And we are not the same person now that we were back then. And hopefully we have more ability and tools to navigate whatever is going on. And then today, December 5th, I get to say one of my favorite words, a Cazimi. We have a Mercury Cazimi. I know every time I say that, I feel like I need to eat Italian food, but that's not a food. A Cazimi is when a planet is very close to the sun and the effect is amplified by the sun. So this is Mercury in its retrograde cycle, Cazimi with the sun, is actually offering clarity and turning points in unresolved matters. And so that's actually, today is a really great day to break through, jump through, get through to the other side. And on December 7th, Neptune ends its retrograde phase and clears away illusions and brings fresh waves of insight. So if you've been feeling foggy or uncertain, you are going to be able to move forward a little bit. So lots of retrogrades. I'm seeing here, there's so many retrogrades. Venus retrograde, by the way, is bringing financial markets under scrutiny. So expect corrections, reversals, and hidden issues to surface. It's a time for conservative spending. So be a little aware of that as we go into the holidays. And for my clients who are into cryptos, you guys will know Bitcoin broke through the $100,000 ceiling. I am not a financial advisor. Please don't ask me about that stuff. I'm just bringing it out because Venus retrograde is having something to do with that. Mercury retrograde in the political arena, it may be causing miscommunications between world leaders or the rehashing of past decisions. And so just pay attention to news about contracts, treaties, or laws that are being revisited or renegotiated. There's a lot going on politically and globally. And Uranus in Taurus retrograde may trigger unexpected shifts in industries tied to technology, agriculture, or real estate. So I think we're all kind of looking for that stable ground. We also have the winter solstice coming up this month. So lots of stuff happening in the skies. Remember that it's just astrological weather. And once you kind of know what's going on up there, then you are the one, you're the player, you're the co-creator, you're the one that gets to decide how you're going to step into that weather. So don't wear your swimsuit in a snowstorm. Well, I don't know. I guess you could. I'm not going to tell you can't do it. I'm just saying, think about it. And so speaking about the universe, the stars aligning, all kinds of great things. I have a wonderful guest today. Her name is Elaine Starling. She is known as the Abundance Ambassador. I hope she has a theme song. And she is an international TEDx speaker, a best-selling author, a renowned coach specializing in spiritual alignment and abundance empowerment. Boy, what a great day for you to be here with that Venus retrograde stuff. Her transformative book, 5 Steps to Activate Your Abundance, Building Your Dream Life from Within, is inspired by a profound spiritual awakening during a near-death experience, or maybe it was a true death experience. She'll tell us. And while recovering from that event, that stroke in New Zealand, Elaine had a life-changing conversation with a higher power, receiving divine insights on life's purpose, abundance, and spiritual fulfillment. She's also the creator of The Abundance Journey, a 6-week program designed to integrate spirituality, personal development, and actionable strategies for success. I think she has a podcast. She does all kinds of wonderful things. She empowers women and spiritual seekers to partner with the divine and overcome limiting beliefs and manifest their desires. Apparently my desire was to have you on the show today, Elaine. Welcome to the show.
Perfect timing, perfect divine timing, right?
I know,
there are no accidents. There really are no, and when you're good at partnering with the divine, because a lot of people don't realize you are a full partner with the divine. And you think you're this lowly little ant, but no, you're actually a full partner. One of the messages that I get all the time is, look, honey, we are guiding you. We're giving you divine guidance, and you are guiding us. Whenever you come across something that's way bigger than you know how to handle, you see the homeless situation, you see people starving, you see conflicts internationally, you see challenges with the health of the earth, and you personally don't know how to fix that, we do. So we expect you to send love and blessings to whatever issue is present and see it as whole and healed and perfect. We will do the work. That's our job. You tell us where you want the energy to go.
Wow, that's powerful. So I want you to talk a little bit more about that. So for instance, if I'm looking out into the world and I am seeing, the wars, or I'm the terrible things, I'm going to say, even in political arena, finance, whatever it is. So send love to it.
You see the situation as whole and healed.
Okay.
So everyone involved or impacted benefits in some way. Now, one of the things to understand is there's a difference between the human context, where we want everything to go the way we want it to go, and the divine context, which is every experience you have is there to expand your spiritual growth. We're not so concerned about whether you like it or not. We want you to expand your spiritual growth. And the sooner you get on board and recognize that you are expanding and you are becoming more aware and you are embodying the divine more and you are sending more love and blessings, even when you don't agree with someone. I know I shared with you before we started, and I want to share this with everyone. Yes. I was thinking about what was going on, all the conflicts in the United States, especially politically. And I was just thinking with the divine, what's going on here and what can we do to support this? And I got this image of a dock by the ocean, and all the boats were on their sides and the tide was out. And the divine reminded me, look, when the tide comes back in, it goes into the lowest spots first before it can rise up enough to hit the boats and lift all the boats together. Those who most need love are those who have forgotten how to love. When we take any person in society, in existence, and we go, you're a bad person, you don't deserve divine blessings, get out of here. We are all one. We are damning ourselves. we are not damning that individual. We are damning ourselves. So it's really important to be aware of what you're doing. I want to share one other story because it really is important and it will change a lot of things for a lot of people. A few months ago, I was in my kitchen doing some dishes and I was just wondering about, sometimes you've got something you're working on and it all comes together like a breeze. It's easy, piece of cake, no big deal. And then there's another project that you're working on and it is a slog. It does not matter what you do, roadblock, problems, challenges, issues, you name it, everything goes wrong. Hell in a handbasket. And I was just kind of thinking, why in the world does that happen? And I immediately felt and heard a very loud, forceful voice in my body that said, when you deny your power is denied to you. When you acknowledge your power is shown to you. You are more powerful than you can imagine. And it just set me back. I was just like, holy cow. Okay, what am I doing this denying my power? I'm not going to do that anymore. And I realized that often it's the words I use. I accidentally deny my power or diminish my power. So I want you to call me on something, Loretta. I am working a few words out of my vocabulary. I no longer try, because there is no such thing as try. It's just very trying when you try. I no longer want, because want leaves me wanting, right? So I choose, I prefer, I desire, but I do not want.
Oh, wow. I love what you're saying so very, very much. Yesterday, I was doing a talk with one of my clients. We were talking about victimhood in the dreaded drama triangle, right? The Cartman triangle, for those that know. And this idea that, that you are a victim, everything is being done to you, or everything in the world is bad, right? And this idea that there is a different way to look at that. And also, as an energy worker, as a spiritual worker, what you think about is what you create. What you focus on is what you draw to yourself. These laws of reflection, right? I know I'm saying a lot in there. I'm going to have you decipher that a little bit for the listening audience, but I think it was Yoda that said there's no try, there's just do or not do.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that's so interesting, we think that we're just this lowly little ant and the divine is some big entity up there. And sometimes we remember to pay attention to it, but we're not really sure it's there, or we're not really sure it exists. And who am I to think that I deserve all this stuff? Well, let me tell you just how powerful you are. And this is not me. These are two researchers who work at the college level. They wrote a book called Connected. It has a really long tagline: The Surprising Power of Our Social Networks and How They Shape Our Lives. Just remember connected. Okay. That's all you need to know. Now, they were curious about the whole 6 degrees of separation and how much impact, how connected are we and how much impact do we have on each other? So they did all this research and they discovered something called the 3 degrees of influence rule. It turns out that you have influence over your friends, 3 levels away from you, right? And I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. I wonder how many people that is. So I asked Dr. Google, and she came back with a recently published article in the New York Times citing some research done in the United States that says the average American knows about 600 people. And I thought, what? There's no way in the world I know 600 people. So I talked to 2 friends of mine who are very knowledgeable, and they said, oh, that's really low. You know, closer to 1,000 people. I said, okay, wait, time out. I didn't do the math. I have no clue how many people we're connected to. I'm going to trust the researchers and just see what that looks like. So if you imagine a bullseye where you're at the middle of the bullseye and there are 3 rings around you, that first ring are the 600 people that you know. Every single one of those 600 people knows 600 people. That's 360,000 people in your second ring. Every single one of those 360,000 people knows 600 people. That's 216 million people in your third ring. Now, according to these social scientists who did the math, who did the research, every single thing that you think, feel, say, and do ripples out to 216,360,600 people. You being you and lifting your own consciousness is the most powerful thing you can do for the planet. Now, that's not the freaky part. Here comes the freaky part. They measured how big an impact you actually have. It turns out that when you're having a great day, those 600 people in your first ring are 15% more likely to have a great day just because you're having a great day. And when you're having a great day, the people in your second ring, 360,000 people, are 10% more likely to have a great day just because you're having a great day. And the 216 million people, you're convinced there's not a way in the world you impact them. They are 6% more likely to have a great day just because you're having a great day. And you know what? When you aren't having a great day, don't worry about it. It's a lot like dodgeball. Nobody wants it. They're going to duck and weave to get away from it. And the most important thing is to remember, you are connected to 216,360,600 people. And somebody in there, like, Loretta or me or Betty, we're probably having a good day. And you can tap into that energy. We lift all boats, right?
I love that so much. And yes, absolutely. Yes. So it's contagious. It's yes, it is. So do we have a choice about whether we have a good day or a bad day?
Yes, because
do
we
we
make
do
up
that?
the
Yeah.
meaning. So another story to share.
Yes, I love your stories, please.
I was in a parking lot. I was driving my husband's truck. Now, spatial awareness and I have a limited partnership, and so it's a large vehicle. And so I'm very cautious backing out of the parking place. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this car just racing through the parking lot, going super fast. And I think, wow, that is not safe. And I'm backing up slowly, looking all around. And all of a sudden, I hear somebody honk. And it sounded like they were right behind me, but I didn't look. I just went from happy, joy to piss off, like in a nanosecond. It was just so immediate. It was uncontrollable. And I started making up all these stories about this person. And they weren't just dropped on their head as a child. They were dribbled repeatedly. And all of a sudden, the divine got my attention, said, sweetheart, we keep telling you that every single thing that happens for you is actually a blessing. You're making up a story pretending that this is not a blessing. But what if it was a blessing? What kind of story would you share if it actually was a blessing? And I had to think about it. I wasn't there right away. But I was like, you know what? Maybe I was about to hit something. And this person didn't have time to put their car in park, jump out, run around, knock on my window. Hey, lady, you're going to hit something. Careful. All they could do was honk. And that prevented an accident that would cost a bunch of money, raise my insurance, cause a hassle, lots of extra time wasted. Well, yeah, avoiding that's definitely a blessing. And, maybe they had a different vantage point on where I was in the parking space. And maybe it was kind of like a thumbs up. It's okay. You've got this. As it happened, I stopped immediately and I cranked on that wheel and I out of that parking space. So, maybe they were just being a good neighbor and encouraging me that I was safe and I could get out. And then the real message hit me. I'm the one who's been blocking my blessings. I'm the one who's been denying myself the blessings that are present for me based on the stories that I make up about the people involved and my role and what I'm actually receiving. The divine is showering you with blessings all the time. Are you willing to receive them?
Wow. Yes. It's so very powerful because while you were talking, I was thinking, yeah, we're being showered with blessings. We're not paying attention to them because they don't look the way that we think they should look. We're not. Yes. Yeah. We're caught up in that.
It's a lot like looking at shooting stars. Okay.
Mhm.
You do
Mhm.
have to look at one area of the sky, right? You have to look somewhere. But when we're in our human focus, we tend to get tunnel vision. We're so set on it's got to show up just like this, and it only looks like a blessing when. That's not accurate. If you want to see shooting stars, you have to activate your peripheral vision. So any tiny little stray bit of light grabs your attention and you witness the shooting star, you witness the blessing.
Yeah, that's a very good analogy. It's a very good analogy. I also am going to say this, and then we're going to take a little station break. I was thinking back, what you're focusing on, what you're looking for. So if you're actually looking for, I'm just going to say blessings, maybe that's a more expansive idea rather than the one thing. You're looking for blessings, then you can find them. That stardust will find you. You'll discover that
all the time. But most people make the mistake of going, well, the blessing is the new car in my driveway in 10 minutes. Yeah. No, the blessing is you see that car everywhere around you. And then you go to a dealer and you start doing research. There are baby steps, and the blessings show up as baby steps.
I love that. So we're going to take a little station break. This is Loretta Brown, and I love my guest today, Elaine Starling. I love your energy. It's fantastic. She is the abundance ambassador. And don't go away, because when we get back, we're actually going to talk about her stroke. Yeah, she had one, and a whole bunch of other things about activating abundance. And I can't, I mean it. So many people having abundance, financial issues, and all that kind of stuff. What a great talk. And we'll be right back.
All right, all clear. Did you know that Reiki healing can be done at a distance? It's true. So let Reiki Oasis focus powerful energy to help relieve your stress, grief, sadness, anger, and so much more. Convenient, personalized treatments at a distance can increase lightness of being. During your appointment, find a quiet place to lie down or sit to receive healing energies. If you want help with your dis-ease, visit ReikiOasis.com. Harness life's energy. Visit ReikiOasis.com today.
Time is funny. Sometimes it seems fast, and other times slow. When it comes to time slots remaining on Alternative Talk 1150, time is running out. In fact, there are just a few primetime slots available. So if you want to host your own radio program, the time to call 425-653-1150 is right now. Nope, no time for excuses. Dial 425-653-1150 to find out how affordable it can be to host a radio show. Alternative Talk, we have an opportunity waiting just for you.
Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Wherever you go, Alternative Talk 1150 is here for you.
Ready to come in? All right, stand by.
Woohoo! I love it. I feel like we came back in. Same energy that we've got going on, Elaine Starling. Anyway, this is the original Loretta Brown show. You can find these shows archived at 1150 KKNW Archives, as well as iTunes, Podcast One, Megaphone X, Spotify, YouTube. I know I've left somebody out. You get the idea. You can find all the shows for the original Loretta Brown show all over the place. Please go and check them out. They are downloadable for free. Elaine Starling is the abundance ambassador and the author of a great book called 5 Steps to Activate Your Abundance, Building Your Dream Life from Within. Yes. There it is. Beautiful. Absolutely a beautiful book. It's a great read. It's very informative, actually. Just kind of follow through on it'll give she has questions for you to answer and kind of a self introspection thing, which I really like, by the way, because I think sometimes we need to slow down and really take a look at that. A couple of things. I'm going to throw this out there, and I know you have an agenda on your heart that you'd like to share with people. And I'll do it in this order. During the break, we were talking about how in our divisive times, a lot of people are very, they spent so much time with their eyes looking, to the right or to the left, that my take on it is their eyeballs are stuck. Like they're just stuck. And so could you just comment about that in some fashion?
Absolutely. People misunderstand what their relationship actually is with the divine. You're going around and you're like, man, my life is so hard. And here's this beautiful car. I see another beautiful car everywhere I go. And there's all these lovely houses. And look at that wonderful couple and how happy they are. And I don't have that. And they're just rubbing my nose in it. And that just means that I can't have it. That's not correct. Yeah. The divine is much more like a very loving parent with a pre-verbal baby. You've seen these people. Oh, honey, do you want your binky? No. You want your blankie? No. You want your bottle? No. You want to be held? No. The divine is showing you these things because they are possible for you. So when you say, oh, I can't have that because, then the divine goes, okay, if you don't really want it, then we won't really give it to you. Thinking that you can only have it if somebody else doesn't is not accurate. Seeing that someone has what you want is a proof step that you can have it too. Mm-hmm. So instead of feeling divisive about things, the divine perspective is everything is perfect. Everything is combined together to create this contrast. Now, I was having my stroke. Amazing experience, because during my stroke, I got to have a conversation with our higher power. And I got a complete download about how everything works and why we're alive, how we can live our best life, what happens next after this life. Don't worry about that. It's a graduation. It's not an ending. So anyway, during this conversation, they asked me kind of a rhetorical question. They said, okay, everything is love. The chair you're sitting in is love. The television is love. You are love. The divine is love. Everything is love. So how do you expand love if everything is already love? I was stumped. And they said, well, we decided to make human beings who don't think that everything is love. And they get to experience the joys of contrast, the difference between what is wanted and what is not wanted. And those two things create a friction and create your opportunity to use your superpower of choice. You either step back in fear and try to stay safe and protect yourself, or you step forward in grateful curiosity. That is the most powerful state of being, grateful curiosity. You don't know what's coming. You just know there's a blessing in here somewhere. And whenever you do that, you lean in, you're fully present, you're engaged, you're welcoming the blessings that are coming through. You don't know exactly how they're going to show up, but you're allowing them into your experience and your awareness. Every time you do that, you expand the divine, you expand love. This experience of being physical and being human is the expansion joint of the divine. This is the cutting edge of the divine. You have been physical many times in the past. You will be physical many times in the future. Why? Because you are a freaking surfer, baby, and you like riding the waves. Okay? It's fun. Some of them last a long time. Some of them fizzle out fast. It's about the ride. It's about enjoying the ride and welcoming the beautiful unfolding of your life.
Wow. I love your visual language. Like I'm very visual. So I'm thinking about, you jump on that surfboard and you're riding the wave, and then you're like, oh, well, that one's done. Okay, jump back on. Right.
Yeah.
But this idea of grateful curiosity to me is it's opening the mind. You're open. And you also said the word allowing. Can we allow it?
Up.
Yeah.
Let me switch that up, because when I was having my stroke and having this incredible conversation, I've been very fortunate in my relationships, but I have never experienced such intense, unconditional love in my life. I mean, every molecule of my body was just cherished and loved beyond imagining. And when I came out of the stroke with absolutely no damage, I'm like, wow, I want that all the time. Hold the stroke. I will take that unconditional love no matter what. And I did all this research, and everybody said, you have to allow. You have to just relax and open your heart and allow the blessings, allow the messages to come in, allow the guidance. So I was doing that. I'm allowing my little heart out. And every once in a while, yeah, I'd get a divine download, and it always felt great. But it was a lot closer to a leaky watering can than Niagara Falls, that all-encompassing unconditional love. And that's what I wanted. So one day I had done my meditation. I'm sitting for guidance, and I'm in a mood. So I was writing to the divine. I'm like, why isn't this allowing thing working for me? A little testy at the time. And the divine immediately came back and said, what is the image that comes to mind when you think of the word allow? Now, I never put this on anybody else because no two people have the same relationship with the same words. I'm merely describing my relationship. I immediately saw myself behind a door with a chain on the door. I was peeking out the door at the divine, and I am freaking terrified because I don't know what's going to happen. I can't control it. There's no systems. There's no processes. There's no cause and effect. This is so much bigger than anything I can imagine with my little human mind. So I'm totally freaked out. And I was like, oh, wow, well, no wonder allowing isn't really working for me, because that's not the kind of relationship that I can have with the divine. So I had to think, what is a more heart-based word instead of a mind-based word? And it took me a while to come up with it, but I finally realized that my word is welcome. Now I welcome the divine. I welcome blessings. I welcome conversations like this because I don't have to control it. I don't have to be in charge of it. And as a result, it took that door off the hinges and chucked the door. Now it's wide open, and all these blessings and miracles keep coming through for me.
Oh, I love that. Welcoming the divine. Welcome.
And you can feel it.
Uh-huh.
I can when allow feels constrictive. Like, well, maybe if you're good enough.
Yes.
It's up to me. I don't know.
Yep.
It's controlling, and I can't control the divine.
Yeah. And it also, for me, allowing is much more mental. I'm going to think about this, and welcoming the heart is like this. And I was talking to someone the other day, and she was saying, well, how do I open my heart? You know, like I've got a shield here or stone here or something because of events, and welcoming. Yeah. Interesting. I like that. I want you to fill in the blanks a little bit regarding your stroke.
Yeah, it was really interesting. So it was New Year's Day, 2005, and my husband and I were on vacation in New Zealand on the South Island. And we'd had breakfast, we were wandering around, they had some shops open, and all of a sudden I got what I thought was a migraine. I got tunnel vision with little sparkles around the edges. And then my right arm went numb, and the right side of my face went numb. And those are classic symptoms that you're having a stroke. So my husband walked me to a little medical center, and they gave me an aspirin. They put me through some tests, and they said, yeah, you're having a stroke. Well, I felt great. I felt like a lazy Saturday morning where I was just going to hit the sleep alarm, roll over, and take a nap. I was just tired. I wanted to rest. So I asked them, could I take a nap? And as soon as they said I could, I closed my eyes, and I found myself inside this massive cloud. And I was part of it, and it was part of me. And then the cloud spoke, and I heard it in my body. And the cloud said, oh, this is perfect. And somehow I knew that cloud was talking about me. And of course, being a good little girl, I immediately said, are you kidding? I don't speak multiple languages. I haven't solved world hunger. I haven't climbed Mount Everest. I am so not all that. And they said, oh, you don't understand how this works. See, you are deliberately designed with all your skills, abilities, talents, interests, preferences, and your faults, your foibles, your hot buttons, your issues, your problems, your challenges. And we put all of that together to create exactly what is needed right now. You are perfect because of your imperfections. And I had this moment of, whoa, Toto, we are not in Kansas anymore. And I started just asking questions, and the answers came into my body immediately, like 360 degrees, past, present, future, colors we can't see, sounds we can't hear, everything. I describe it as kind of like swallowing Google whole with all the likes, the shares, the links, the videos, the you name it, everything all in once. And it was just amazing. It was really fun. And after a while, I felt like I was at this big mixer. I saw entities going by, hey, Buddha, hey, Jesus, how's it going? But I was so in the zone with God that I didn't want to be distracted by other conversations. I really wanted to maintain this connection. And it was amazing. And so many answers came up. And then eventually I heard this question, are you sure you're done? I was like, well, no, we're halfway through our vacation. And man, we love New Zealand. It's awesome. You should check. Oh yeah, you probably already know about it. And they said, no. You said you were done thrashing in your business, that you were struggling to figure out what was next in your life. And you were going to just give up and accept the status quo. If you're sure you're done, we can use that ectoplasm for something else. Are you sure you're done? And I had this instant awareness that I was really close to something important. And furthermore, if I had decided I was done, I would have to go back and start all over again. And it would be a much more challenging situation to get back to where I was in that moment. So I said, no, I'm not done. And they said, great, get back and get busy. And I came out of the stroke with absolutely no damage. And it freaked me out. I didn't tell anybody about my conversation with the divine, not even my husband, for 3 years after my stroke.
My.
I was like, that can't be true. I mean, stuff like this just doesn't happen. What the heck? But I kept getting messages. I kept getting information. I kept getting guidance. And eventually I was like, okay, this is the message. This is what I'm here to do. So yeah, that's what happened.
Wow. That's an amazing experience. I actually love this idea of Jesus and Buddha going by. You're like, hey, but I'm busy.
Sorry. Nice to see you. Hey, thanks
Later.
for all you're doing.
Thanks.
Later.
Doing good over there.
Muhammad, love you. Love you, dude. Love you, dude.
Great.
Yeah.
When you had this experience, and like you said, you didn't tell anyone for 3 years, but this changed you.
Big time.
Yeah, talk about those changes, and also how did it lead to the activating abundance movement? I guess I'll call it a movement. Yeah, give a little bit more information. I had another question floating around in there. I forgot it real quick. It'll come back.
It'll come back. Yeah, it was one of these situations where I got back from a vacation and I got to spend the next 10 years helping my parents and my in-laws with end-of-life issues. Now, I was not blessed with children, but I was blessed with some pretty amazing parents, and getting to support them, go to doctor's appointments and just keep them company and share lots of stories and good times. Some of the most challenging and most rewarding experiences of my life. And I know that part of the reason I had that experience of my stroke was because now I have absolutely no fear at all about death and dying. I know what it is. And they didn't want me to freak out about my parents. And actually, the best analogy I've been able to come up with is it's kind of like kindergarten. When I was in kindergarten, we had nap time. And when I went to first grade, there was no more nap time. Well, when you're physical, you have a body. And when you're not physical, you don't have a body. But it's not a big deal. There's so many other things going on and still so much to learn and all these different ways that you can grow. It's really fun. It's really exciting. And it's a blast. Now, my dad did not believe that there was anything after this. He was not a believer. And I'm like, well, Dad, I know better, but okay, fine, whatever. And I had a conversation with the divine. I'm like, should I be concerned about my dad? And they said, well, how long can you stay without a single thought? And I was like, nanoseconds, are you kidding me? Meditation is a challenge for me, okay? And they said, well, your dad's the same way. As soon as he has a thought, it starts a conversation. And the conversation is answered just the way you experienced during your stroke. So don't worry about your dad. It's all good. Well, I still hear from all 4 of them, And my dad in particular was always worried about me merging on the freeway. I'm a good driver, but he was always stressed about it. And to this day, he clears space for me on the freeway. I always check. I don't just merge, I always look. And I always say, thanks, Dad. Love you, miss you. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's a big thing. And I want to bring this on the show because I liked it. In your book, I think you call your mother-in-law a mother in love.
Yes.
Your mother in love. Yes. I love that. When you were having this experience with the divine, with the other side, what is something that you learned or that maybe you didn't know, or something that you'd like to share with the audience? Like, for instance, like, who are we and why are we here? Did you ask those questions?
Definitely.
Okay.
And who we are is a subset of the divine. It's kind of like a distillate. So if you are making maple syrup, for example, you have to collect a whole lot of sap from sugar maples, and you bring it together and you boil it and boil it and boil it and boil it. And it's something like, I don't even remember the ratio, but it's some ridiculous ratio, like 50 gallons of sap to make a pint of syrup. We are the same way. We are a little tiny chunk of the divine. We are the physical embodiment of the divine. And we are given the gift of amnesia. We don't know that that's who we are. And yet we have courageously come here to live in contrast and learn and grow, expand our spiritual abilities. And as we do that, we literally expand the divine. So that's why we're here, to expand the divine. And who we are is a little chunk of the divine, courageously experiencing contrast.
So here we are in this realm, right? And talk about abundance. What is the secret of abundance? Now, in your book, you have the 5 steps of abundance. Talk a little bit briefly about those steps, or about your activating abundance. Why that?
So it was because I was having a conversation with the divine. Everything in the book is through these conversations where I ask questions and I receive downloads. And so I was asking, how do we create abundance in our lives? And step 1 is gratitude. Gratitude is the ignition switch to higher consciousness. Everything you want starts with gratitude. You want to feel loved? You better feel grateful for connection. You want to feel prosperous? You better feel grateful for the skills that you are using to make a difference in other people's lives. It all starts with gratitude. Step 1 is gratitude. Step 2 is to acknowledge something that you've heard or discovered that's an aha for you. It's an insight for you. Step 3 is to appreciate the difference it can make in your life. I usually provide an example, but then it takes me longer to explain. Step 4 is where you actually activate it. This is where you take a concept, something that you've been exposed to, something you've experienced, and now you make it tangibly, physically real. There are 3 different ways I've discovered to do that. The first way is schedule time to get it done. Now, I count journaling and meditation and your spiritual practices in scheduling time to get it done, because if you don't, you're not going to do it. And journaling is a really great way to get all the stuff that's going on in your head out so that you can get an objective perspective and really see what's going on. The second way to activate abundance is to create a physical trigger, like pulling on your earlobe or crossing your fingers. Because if you're wanting to show up or remember that every moment is a blessing and it's up to me to figure out what it is, it's a scavenger hunt. Well, if I know that going in, I don't have the expectation I'm going to get slapped up the head with a blessing. No, I have to put on my super glasses and really delve in and figure out, where is that blessing for me and for everyone else? And so crossing my fingers or tugging on my earlobe is a reminder to me I get to explore and discover what these blessings are. The third way to activate abundance, it really helps if you have what I call an abundance buddy. It's an accountability buddy, somebody who knows you and knows what you're committed to. If I start complaining about something, I want you to remind me that I said every moment is designed to be a blessing for me. And I want you to remind me to start looking for the blessing and explore what that might be, because I haven't figured it out yet. And by collaborating with you, it becomes more clear to me. Those are the 3 different ways that you actually activate abundance. Now, step 5 is celebrate your progress, because this is a glorious, gorgeous unfolding. And all you're after are the baby steps. People think the small steps are meaningless. Oh, no, they're not. The small steps grow together to become the big steps. It's so interesting. I'll receive a download and it's brilliant in and of itself. And then I'll get another one, and I'll get another one. And all of a sudden, I realize that the divine is playing connect the dots. And there's another blessing that pops out that's this 3D spectacular, multifaceted thing that I had no clue over. But I have to connect the dots. I have to collect and then connect the dots.
I am thinking about something you said earlier in the show about how we're interacting with this, or like the baby, like, do you want this? No. Do you want this? No. Right. And this idea of abundance. So taking the time to become clear on what you want, to set that intention. People talk about, laws of attraction and manifestation. You're talking about that, but I like the way you're talking about it. And it's actually a much more inclusive way.
Yeah, it's one of these things. I have a TEDx talk called Abundance is a Choice. And I talk about the 2 things that you really control. You
Yeah.
control your intention, which is what you want to create, and how you choose to feel as you create it. Not want to feel, choose to feel. And the second thing is your attention, where your focus is. You can either focus on all the things that are not working right now, or you can focus on those little bitty blessings that are starting to show up, those little tiny hints that you're on the right track. And one of the things that I love to do is celebrate in advance. I love hiring angels, and I love celebrating in advance. So when I hire angels, I combo it. I'll say, angels, thank you so much for helping me out today. I did this recently. I needed to get home, and I was grocery shopping, and I just finished my shopping. And I said, okay, angels, I really appreciate you helping me get home safely, easily, no problems on the way. Thanks so much. Really appreciate you. See you later. So they have a sense of humor. I experience the divine as effervescent love, just over the top, happy, excited, delighted, silly, playful. They're always after me to lighten up. So I get on the freeway, and there are 2 accidents. I crawled at 5 miles an hour, and I was totally safe the whole time. And they were laughing their asses off. And I was like, okay, yeah, little. So
that's great.
You will get what you want, but you might not get it quite the way you thought you would.
Yeah. So we are near the end of the show. We're actually there. It went by crazy quick. But Elaine Starling, I would like you to tell people where to find you and your book. And as they say, famous last words, very quickly.
Absolutely. So my website is theabundancejourney.com. And my book is available on Amazon. And the thing I want you to know and truly own is that you are a blessing, and you are blessed. And because you are a blessing, make sure that you bless what you're stepping into. I have this new habit. And before we get on the show, before I do anything, I say to myself, I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed. And when I do that, I'm putting that into the mirror of the universe. And what gets reflected back to me? Things to be happy about, things to be grateful for, more blessings. So be the blessing that you are and bless your life.
Thank you so much, Elaine Starling. And to Benny Mathers, you're the best. And to all the listeners, have a great week.